Hello and welcome to the 59th episode of Rambling Weekly. Getting really on the wire here. We're going to talk about balancing things and how I am very poor at doing that. So that's the topic. So we're going to take a break and then get right into it. So let's do that. Welcome back. So that tune there, let me bring it up. Is from Thrakia 776 Fire Emblem. I mean, it is technically a classic Fire Emblem game. I don't know if some people would consider it a classic because it takes place in between the events of what's going on in Genealogy of a Holy War. Takes place in between them, and it is much more of a it is a slog. It is a bit of a brutal campaign, but it's one of those things that once you finally start to understand how it wants you to go about playing it, you can get around it pretty easy. Anyways, that song is Leaf's Army in Pursuit of Victory, the bass version there, the bass, because there's a few different titles that use the Shori no Motomete. So, anyways, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks of guests. Going to have another guest next week, so that'll be fun and exciting times. I guess my topics and me just rambling isn't quite as entertaining for certain B Clarks about, but that's all right. I'll survive. I'll be fine. Everything it's all right. I'm not bitter or anything of the sort. But yeah, so yeah, we'll have another guest next week. It'll probably be something that continue to keep doing in that regard. Not because I'm like, oh, I need a guest or anything, but it's fun to have guests and whatnot. I I like that. I just don't. I don't know. Part of it. This is we'll get into the topic on it. It's something I kind of struggle with. Not necessarily because I don't. Not because I don't like um chit chatting or interacting with other people or something. It's just I know I have a bad habit of how to put it. Uh, just balancing stuff. But we'll get into that a bit more in a bit. But yeah, hopefully everything's going well for you and things are going good. They're certainly going somewhere for me. I don't know if good is the where I want to be at. I have completely fallen off the wagon on editing to a certain degree. I decided, because why not, to hike to work one day and then stay at a hotel and then hike back the following day after work. Each direction was 6.1 miles. So took about 2 hours, a little bit shy of 2 hours. That was certainly something. I don't know what got into me to be like, yes, this is what I want to do. I don't know. Uh, I really don't. Cry for help, maybe. I don't know. But I have had that. Um, I've been bowling a couple times recently. That was certainly something. I've been a little bit more active in the social front. Me myself, it's not that I don't like people or uh, misanthropic. There was certainly a time where I was a bit more misanthropic, and that was just kind of me basically spitting out what I was getting in return, or at least what I felt was what I was getting in return. Um, but the, it'll make more sense with the topic. I hate how I have this set up for this one because it just doesn't quite work. But it'll be better with the topic. Anyways, did that. I haven't really done too much else. Like, um, you know, I've talked a little bit about my book for the cover and everything. So I've got David working on making that beautiful as well as the map for it. So that'll certainly be something. What else I got going on? Reading has slowed down. Like I said, a lot of it's just hit a bit of a snag, and it's definitely all on me. But hit a bit of a snag on some things that I'm going to rectify here very soon. Work. Why can't I ever? Anyways, work has been all right. Work's been. I'm actually going to be transitioning to a different position, so that'll be nice. I'm actually kind of looking forward to that, because I'm hitting this point where I'm not challenging myself enough, and I have gotten really laxed in certain things, which is not a good place to be. So, having to readjust and then be like, okay, let me get to this. Let me do this, and then let me do this, and then kind of rediscipline myself in that. For better and for worse, I think part of it's just a boredom on my part, which isn't fair. Like if I'm bored and stuff, and it's becoming an intolerable thing, I should just find a different job. You'd think, right? But I don't know. I guess if I do want a different job, I kind of want it to be like far away from here. Yeah, I guess that's where I'm at. I've got this antsiness of wanting to be elsewhere. Plans fell through to go elsewhere, and then I got sick, and then it's just sort of like, oh, okay, body shot, and I'm like a cue ball that's been hit and put in a spot where it's like, you didn't really want to go there, but that's what you get. So I'm having to grapple with that. And it's really easy to just want to like be deflated, or to be agitated, or to be irked, annoyed. Jimmy's rustled. I don't like, but it is what it is. I don't know if there's really much else I got going on here. Like I said, it's been kind of quick. I don't know how else to put it, but it's just been really quick. And yeah, no me gusta. Let's see, anything else? Oh, I guess the one thing is I went on doing this hiking thing thinking, oh yeah, I'll probably lose a few pounds. No, I actually gained like 4 pounds. I was like, more than anything, it's probably water weight that I was, keeping myself extra hydrated just so I wouldn't, even though it wasn't like it was hot or anything. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Thinking one way and then the entirely different other thing happens, and not really much else I can do. Stop fuzzing up, camera. I know you do that. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to take a break and get into this topic, I guess I should do that, right? So, I'll see you on the other side. Woo! Welcome back. That short theme there is the basically the defense or defending portions when you're being attacked by the enemy, and it's like for the cause of justice and defense would be about an easy way to translate the title for it. There's probably a much more succinct, better translation for it, but it's the defense theme. It's the defending. It's a theme you in this game you hear a lot because you are on the back foot a lot in this game, and it's kind of refreshing in that way. Instead of you've got these characters that are really good. Not really. Your best units are axe wielders. Cool. Great. And there's a early portion of the game where you don't even get them. You're like, no axe for users for you. Oh, these are your good characters? No, you're not allowed to have them. Oh, wait, what? You really want some money and you need items? Well, you might have to capture these units. Oh, but when you try to capture them, yeah, you don't get good stats. You get your stats halved. Good luck. Oh, did I forget? There's a fatigue system as well. So every action after, what is it, like 7 chapters? Each fight, each instant that you use, that your fatigue ticks up, and it once it passes your total HP, you can't use that unit the next battle unless you give them a stamina drink. Pop a Red Bull and be on your merry way. Cool. Actually, kind of don't mind that concept. Too bad that Leaf is impervious to this sort of thing, so you can have him abuse that system. Cool. But, man, Thrakia, I love to hate you, and I hate to love you. Great. Anyways, topic. The topic for this episode is balancing act. And quite frankly, I have failed. The last 2 weeks, pretty much about 2 weeks, I have done a very poor job. I completely missed recording a podcast with Sushi because I fell asleep, and I was just a sleepy boy. It was a blip, and then completely whiffed on that. I have fallen off on editing. I didn't even do what's coming this week. I think it's only 2 minutes, 2.5, 3 minutes long. Didn't do that. Didn't do a whole slew of stuff. Those are the big ones, at least when it comes to that, like editing. I haven't really read much of anything. So here's my thing, and this is part of it is being maybe a slight bit more of a social butterfly in the last couple weeks. It's not that I don't like socializing. I can do it. I like talking. My problem ends up being is that I can get lost in just hanging out with people to where I don't get anything done. And so I think partly why I can get kind of distant is part of why I get distant and maybe shut down. Stop saying maybe. And why I shut down, or at least keep my distance on people, is because I don't want to annoy them, and B, I know that if I do, it's just something that keeps me from doing things that only I can do, like writing, editing, not so much. But I am not made of money to drop. Let's see, this is 400. It'd probably be 2.5 grand to edit the whole book. I, as wonderful and just glamorous as my life is, Kirby hat and all, I really don't have 2.5 grand to just drop on an editor at will. Uh, not quite my life. Which is fine. But in the same hand, this is where I need to be a bit more stern on myself. And it's not the fault of doing those things that are fun. It's the fault of me not having better discipline in getting that done. I noticed I didn't even write my weekly planner thing. I didn't do that. I didn't do a few other things. And it's just like, it just kind of upsets me. It upsets me in a way because it's like, man, that's like, it's just, it should not be, for whatever reason, hanging out with people just a few times that it was that couple doing the hiking thing that really threw me off. And instead of just buckling down and doing stuff, I was too busy up my own ass, for lack of a way to put it, enjoying and just kind of having fun, which I know sounds kind of stupid, but I guess it's just how I'm built, right? It's just I have this, like, I want to do nothing but just have fun, but then I get really upset with myself because I'll be like, wow, you had fun, but you didn't do anything, if that makes sense. Maybe it's because I want to go elsewhere, or I for wrong and right reasons, I can look back in my life and compare myself to now, and it's like all the stuff that I did building up to me, would they be appreciative, or would they be like, oh, you know, we 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 what's the we crawled so you could walk, and here you are crawling. What are you doing? Kind of thing. Um, I guess it's where I have this push and pull of, oh, I want to have fun. I want to do these fun things, but in the same hand, um, in doing those, I can be very quick to just kind of, I don't want to say lose myself, but just kind of be like, that's all right. I really don't. I'll get to it. Um, yeah, or I'll just be like, I don't want to do that. I haven't streamed in what, about a week, maybe a little bit more than a week. I don't think it's been quite. No, it's actually been probably a bit more than a week. I haven't streamed. I haven't. Yeah, it's just, it's annoying. It's annoying but it's like the thing. It's like, what do you sacrifice? Do you sacrifice social life? Do you sacrifice sleep? And do you sacrifice what? And here's the thing. It's like, I don't sleep a ton. I have in the last few days slept a bit more, but like, I generally will sleep like 4.5, 6 hours, and I'll be good, which is not good, but I'll be good enough. um, so yeah, I guess this is kind of my it just annoys me. It annoys me to no end that that if I just have one thing go out of kilter, I've got to reassemble it, which is, I guess, in a good way, because now I can, I see this and be like, oh, okay, let me obviously I didn't make my list. Obviously, I didn't do this. I did not do this. Blah blah blah. I did do this instead, so I can now be like, okay, I know what I need to do. Now I just need to. Now that I've stepped back and surveyed my problems, I just need to hopefully do a better job of balancing it. I don't think it'd be too difficult moving forward. I don't know. It's partly also I'm in this weird position that most of the people that I know are like 10 years younger than I am. So it's a little like A, being on very different wavelengths, and B, and that's not to say, there's people who I know that are different ages or much younger or much older. You can be on the same wavelength or have similar energies and stuff, but it's probably more of a personal thing at that point, right? Where it's like I'm partly being in the midst of trying to get this book finished, partly being that I keep on, whether I want to or not, flipping the switch to having to restart. I know I mentioned to one of my coworkers, because she's like lived in this area, I think, for her whole life, but I've like moved a whole bunch. She's like, that sounds miserable. And it's like, I can see, like, which is kind of funny, because like for me, thinking of living in the same spot for so long, I'm like, that just sounds miserable. Like I like it's kind of funny to have that sort of, not even appreciation, but just perspective, to be like, no. Like, I also had a pretty crappy childhood, so it's kind of like, I don't really. The moving actually benefited me a lot more. Man, I really wish this camera would be appreciative. I'm not. It's not. Like, why do you get fuzzy? Like, whatever. Anyways, I, yeah. So, like, I know Arbel, Matt, who was on last episode, he can probably attest to this, and David, who's been on an episode before, he could attest to this. Sushi, who listens and comments every now and then, again, he could probably attest to this. I have this weird thing of, I have a, not weird thing, it's a bad habit. I have a bad habit of just kind of going silent, and not necessarily, oh, I'm mad at you silent or anything. It's more of just like, poop. I'm good. I'm done. Done right now. Done. D-U-N. Done. Done. Yeah. I don't know if it's not necessarily like an overload. I would say it's more of, not so much overload, but like, I guess I just have a bad habit of how I see something kind of panning out, not really panning out, and it's like, oh, I just want to kind of cut this off and just be done with it. Like, say, with game project, or I know with certain games that Sushi and I have tried to do for reviews, that I've just been like, I'm done. I'm not playing this anymore. I cannot subject myself to it. Looking at you, freaking Kid Icarus on the NES. I loathe that game. There's your 13-second review of Kid Icarus. Barf, 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 barf. Awful. No. Just no. Abysmal. The end. I'm like, nope. And I guess that's why I really am adamant about making lists for myself, because that's the best way I can keep on target. and keep on task. Because if I don't have any sort of list, because I noticed when I was working, I think I mentioned it before, when I was working at Target way back in the day, I'd work in the morning, and then I'd have all this stuff time in the afternoon and evening, and I would get stuff done, but I wouldn't progress with anything, if that makes sense. I'd make a little tune here, a little tune there, and just sort of get stuff, but it would be a little bit of a floating down the river sort of pace. As some people might call it, a little bit more of a southerly pace. I'm familiar with this. I'm sort of from the South, kind of. Not necessarily, but I talk with a little bit of a drawl or something every now and again. People wonder. I say crawdad, not crayfish. But I don't even know where I was going with that. Don't know now. I forget the end. Suddenly pace doing that sort of thing. Oh, but yeah, I wouldn't get anything done, and thinking on it, I would just not really do anything. I would do things, but then it would just sort of be this, yeah. And then it wasn't until I got really, really focused, started making a list, start kind of burning that fire, that I finally got Sudraba done. And then after that, I got that done, there was a little bit of a lull, and then I kind of fell into a bit of a lull. Then just kept busy with work and everything. And then I was like, oh, I need to start working on this next one. And then kind of doing it, sort of. Had all that time off. And then I got sick. And then I had to start working again. And then I was working like 70 hours a week. And then I was like, no. And I've had to shift gears and stuff. So it's this... In one hand, I get it. The balancing act is not only an act of trying to juggle all the different things in life, to not have a neurosis or neurotic breakdown in like, oh, hey, I gotta get to writing, I gotta do this. I mean, I could probably get away with that myself just because of how I am. Like, I can be like, whatever. Like, all work and no play doesn't really bother me because, yeah, I didn't get to play much as a kid, so it's like whatever. Like, so yeah, I guess that's one way I can think of it. Also, with it is that it's not just that though. It's also the balancing act of accepting that things aren't going to be perfect. They never are. Life's not only just a orderly chaos, but it is pulling in all these fun and different and exciting ways. So you got to be able to be sort of that statuesque pillar in a way, to be able to weather those sorts of storms and to be as you were once the storm passes. And unfortunately, a storm came through and I didn't keep the discipline, and I really fell apart on that. Good to at least see it now, and a week and a half, 2 weeks after the fact. Would have been better to have just not had to learn that lesson again, but that's life. You tend to have to learn these lessons all over again if you're stupid like me, which is fine. Like, it's good to have that. It in a way is kind of reinvigorating because it allows me to kind of, it validates that the things that I was doing beforehand were working, and at the moment that I stop doing them, I'm not working, or I'm not progressing, or I'm not getting anywhere closer to any sort of goals and dreams that I have. So that's nice. Actualization, realization is certainly a step in the process. Now it's just the I guess it would be the realization and then the actuation. I think that's a. If it's not a word, I'm making it up now. I think it's a word though, but yeah, I guess that's where I'm at. I'm a complete goof failure for the last 2 weeks, and or at least week and a half. So I think that's it. I guess this is my very prolonged way of saying sorry, Sushi. My bad. I goofed. But I apologize for that, but I also apologize to all of you. I know it's not a big deal in the sense of it's just a little video or whatnot, but this is from watching or just being visually aware of the channel for as long as it's been around. That I have these gaps. I think there's one where it's like I put out one video in like a year and a half. It's something ridiculous, if not longer. And that's just from me not having the discipline to be like, no, let's make some stuff. And instead I wouldn't make anything, and then all of a sudden I'd be like, oh, let's do something, and then kind of fall off the wagon because I would never have a disciplined sort of not habit, but a game plan. We'll go with that. Disciplined game plan that would work for me to keep on going. So yeah, like missing out on doing what's coming this week. Haven't streamed anything. I haven't even played anything to do for that, because I wanted to do the whole One Life to Live thing. I was super excited for that, and then all of a sudden, haven't done it. Haven't done a single one. I have an idea for what I want to do. Journey to Silius. I'm awful at that game, but it'll be fun. Yeah. Just it's a balancing act. Certainly dropped a few plates. I just have to maybe kind of clean them up and then kind of get some new ones and start spinning those again. But yeah, so that is what I got for the topic. We're gonna take a break and then get a quote and then be on our merry way, because it's super late. I gotta get up early and I've got to be quick with this. Spoiler alert, I'm recording this Thursday night and it's currently 10:18 p.m. and I've got to be at work at 7 tomorrow morning. Yay. I mean, that's still like 9 hours. 8, because I get up at 6. So 7.5. It'll be fine. Everything will be fine. It'll be good. Take a break. Welcome back. That there is Go and Go Leaf. Yuke Leaf. Yeah, I like that song a lot. It's probably one of my favorites from the game. There's some nice ones in there. The final boss theme is fantastic, even though the final boss is probably one of the weakest ones. Not necessarily just the physical aspect. The fight is the battle map is atrocious. Just especially if you're trying not to have anybody die. It's an awful map. It's a pain in the butt. It's this game broke me for a very long time, and I was not too big of a fan of having this wonderful deluxe box copy of it, and it just mocking me about how not good I am at it. I should probably play it at some point again. Anyways, I am going to be a bit of a sneaky Pete for this one. The other day I have about 9 pages. It's not to say all of these are good, but I have about 9 pages of quotes from Sudraba, the first book that I released, that I was reading through it the other day, and I don't remember why. But there's something about just a lot of the lines here that I'm like, man, it's just a completely different mindset. It's kind of weird, interesting, but also kind of weird. Like, I could not write Sudraba now versus when I had wrote it and then published it 3 years ago. It's just not the same. Like, I'm just not the same. Like, I had to be in a very specific mood for that book, and I am not quite at that same mentality, I guess, for better and for worse. Anyways, the one that I wanted to go with, because I am just so full of myself, is this one here, and it's a dialogue that's going on. And it is, what I'm saying is that children don't learn anything about responsibility by only thinking. Response. Only through our actions will the weight of our responsibilities become understood. So, I guess what I'm saying there is, yeah, I'm saying that I goofed and failed on those sorts of things. And that's nice that I can acknowledge that and see that and call it out. But I'll know better through how I react more than anything, because I can certainly say things and be like, oh yeah, but it's not until I actually do something about it that it really is important. Not important, but sure, I can acknowledge it, say it, and whatnot, but it isn't until I actually do the things that will stop that from happening. That'll show that I actually am on top of it. So, I think that's about it. I don't know if I don't really have. I mean, there's a lot of good quotes in here. I was kind of surprised. I was like, man, not to toot my own horn, but some of these are really, really good. But yeah, I don't know. Read my book, buy my book, make me some money. And if you already bought it, well, buy the hardback version. It's available now. You can totally do it. What is wrong with me? Oh, here you go. Here's another one that kind of sits in the same thing. Truth lies in actions, not the wasting of our breath. So, yeah, I think I have another one in there. It's sort of along those same veins there. I probably already passed it up. I think I did. But yeah. So what is wrong with me? I don't know. Oh, goodness gracious. But yeah. Gracious. It's kind of weird. Like, I read some of these things, and I can certainly think back on that time period when I was writing it and everything, but it is very foreign to me. That's kind of, I guess, in line with the death of the author sort of thing, but in the same hand, yeah, it's kind of weird. It's so weird. It's kind of cool, but it's also weird. The end. That's it. That's all I got. I'm prolonging this, and now I've made the image blurry. Focus, focus. About as good as my camera. I need to focus. Anyways, I don't remember what song I was going to pick. Oh yeah, the song I'm picking is the ending. It's the music box theme that a lot of music box themes are really poignant, really fantastic. Xenogears' music box theme and the scenes involved invoked from that are some pretty swell stuff. This one, no. I mean, it's not that it's bad. I like it. I have a very soft spot in my heart for music boxes, but yeah, it's a good tune. I enjoy it. Plus, it's at the end of the game, so it's like, thank mercy, finally got here. So yeah, that's it. I'm done. Done for today. Done. Crossed the finish line. Somehow. Anyways, hope you enjoy your week, weekend, weekday, and yeah, everything else in between. And whatever it is you're going for, or what is it? Wherever you go with all your heart. I think that's a quote from something. If not, attribute it to me. Sounds pretty good. Anyways, take it easy. Thanks for listening, watching, all that sort of fun jazz. And yeah, see you next week. Bye!